Hello, everybody. Back here again for another vlog a day, and today is Friday, the 25th, and today is a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning pretty early. Dogs needed to go out, so on and so forth and whatnot. Got that taken care of. Ended up in the hot tub like I try to do most mornings. Got a couple things done. My wife got out of here super fast and basically rushed off to work and trying to get so much extra stuff done. She's just covered up with work. It's just so much. So doing the best you can to keep up on that and not get overwhelmed, and still trying to find a balance in her brain to keep herself moving forward in the whole thing. So we got a couple things done around here. Nothing real major, just kind of simple little things, whatnot. Got some stuff taken care of, the dogs, and since we didn't have a house, now I've been looking for houses, been doing some thinking and trying to figure out what we're going to do. And I went ahead and listed up my vending machines and my coin pushers and my claw machine stuff. I list up as one big package deal just to get rid of all the stuff I have, partly with the thought that it'd be easier to get rid of it now than trying to move it to the location of stuff I don't have placed, and also it give me more room to start moving my father-in-law stuff into this house instead of putting it in storage units, because one of the big things, all these albums, we want to try and get them into our house to have them air conditioned and stuff, and not like in some weird, air conditioned basically storage unit that we don't know if it's secure and or if it's actually air conditioned properly, kind of thing, and run the risk of damaging all of these records. So trying to get that whole thing done and figured out, and it's kind of becoming a pain in the butt, but overall pretty good. Just process of what's going on. Had a couple people hit me up, people hit me up with like, don't know if I'll carry the financing and stuff on it, and they're wanting to give me like nothing down, and I'm like, what do you have in mind? Well, I don't know, I got a few $100s down, and I got $1,000 down, and I'm like, how long payments? Well, I hadn't really thought about how much payments would be or how much. I'm like, then you have no reason, no, none of this works. Then there was a part of me that one of them, that case, they had like $4,000 down, and part of me was like, well, I'll give you $4,000 worth of stuff not placed. I'm not giving you my active route at the moment and all the equipment and let you make payments, but the stuff out of here I can sell you what I have in my house, some of that for $4,000, and then the rest of it as you pay, then you can continue to save up some money, and then if you can get them placed and making money, let them pay for the rest of the route and buy from there. But no real, no idea. People with no credit, no ability, no idea of financing and how things work, and just starting upside down in massive amounts of debt when you have crappy credit to begin with. You can't get a bank loan, all this stuff is not something I want to finance. And I would do a finance process with this whole thing if somebody was giving me a substantial amount of money down, and in that case, like, I'm talking like way over half would have to be down, and then again they would get all the non-place stuff first, and that would empty out my house, which is what my main goal is, and then once that's paid off, they could then get the rest of the stuff, with the more money coming in, kind of thing. But no way I'm handing over an active business that I'm just giving somebody for nothing and then hoping they pay me eventually. Never going to happen, especially with something like the vending machine business. They can just pack it up on a trailer and haul them away and put them somewhere else. I'll never find these people again, and then I'm out all my money. So never going to happen. But it is what it is. Had a guy, I got one guy wants to buy my claw machines, I got one guy wants to buy my coin pushers, and I got one guy wants to buy one single standalone machine that's not placed, and those I'll break off the package deal just because they're in my house, they're in my way, and those are what I want out mostly, and they'll package those off, and we'll see. I got it scheduled out, trying to get those times people come look at them. The one guy wants me to deliver the machine to him, and I'm like, okay, but you need to send somebody. If I give you gas money to deliver it, and I'm like, possibly, but I don't know where you're at and whatnot and stuff. And also I need more than just gas money up front, because I'm going to basically treat this as, what would I charge to put this on my trailer, drag it to Orlando, and drag it back and put it back in my garage? Because if you're not there and nothing, we're talking probably $3,500 is what I'm thinking, just for the hassle factor. Now once I get there and you accept it and you take it and you pay me, then I don't charge the $500 for driving it over there, can't find you and bring it back. But I need that money paid up front beforehand. I said, send somebody here to look at it, either yourself or somebody drive a car over. You don't need a truck or a van or nothing. Drive the car over, look at it. Once you see it's all working, we agree everything's good, pay me half of it, and then when I deliver it, pay me the other half, and I'll be fine. So, but don't know when they're going to find somebody. He's like, well, I'm going to get family to come look at it, and then I'm like, you're having other people look at your stuff. It just makes no sense. But hey, whatever makes people happy, so it is what it is. So went ahead, that right there has been kind of just a pain that took us. I got a guy, like I said, supposed to come look at the coin pushers tomorrow morning. As soon as I get up and around and set up, I'm going to do it. Had another dog get dropped off, I don't know, about noon. Dog got dropped off, and then they're doing fine. The dog's then getting along great. I went ahead and had a couple meet and greets I was trying to schedule out and trying to set those up. And I was sitting there stuff, and I get a phone call from my lending agent. I was like, that's weird. Usually I call him, maybe he's telling me my appraisal didn't go through, so they'll be able to refund my money and stuff. And the first thing in my mouth, because I have Betty on the other line, I'm like, son of a bitch, which is my listing agent, who I told her not to call him to talk to me about this whole $700 refund of the inspection stuff, even though he's the one giving me the advice thing. And I was like, this is crap. Like, I told you not to call him. Why'd you call him? And then we got into it and stuff. And I told her, I said, this is done. I said, go back to work, Brian. Get out of here. Like, this has nothing to do with you. So I called her and I asked her, I said, why'd you tell him this? Why'd you call him about this? Why I'm legally obligated telling the loans off? And I'm like, I don't give a damn, you're legally obligated. There was no right, not 1 ounce of a right for you to talk to him about the refund of the inspection. That was not between him and I. That was between you and me. And he told me to talk to you because you might know what's going on with this. He had nothing to do except give me the idea this was a possibility. And then you were going to talk to your legal stuff, which is not either at like some bachelorette party for the weekends. They can't do nothing until Monday anyway. So who gives a shit? Move on from it. And that became a whole thing where she started being all just butthurt about the whole thing and how I lost faith in her and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, this was nothing. Like, then she kept saying I told Brian that I was entitled to get my money back, and I'm telling her I'm entitled to get my money back. I have never used the word in my adult life that I'm entitled to anything. And people ask me, how are you doing today? My answer always is better than I deserve. That's not something that comes from entitled people. You know, one of my biggest things is I hate when I'm dealing with people is like, from their children or from other friends or from parents and stuff, and I feel they're entitled to anything. Now, do I feel I'm owed this? Do I feel it was wrong of them to breach a contract and I'm out the money and they have no repercussion? Yeah, I think I was wronged in this whole process, but I'm not entitled to a goddamn thing. So you're implying something of a behavior that I've never been as an adult, at least as an adult, I've never been. And oh, I got a little cardinal over there. That's cool. A little beautiful little male cardinal. But never been, I was like, what the hell? So it went back and forth and it was just a mess. And it was just, oh, it's just, she wouldn't, and she kept telling me, I didn't tell you they pulled it off the market before we turned in the thing. I said, why would you have turned in the our signed thing saying we're not going to buy the house if he hadn't told it first? Yeah, she goes, why would I have sent that in first if he hadn't told me they were taking it off the market? I said, yes. So they took it off the market before he sent in the release. And she goes, no, I never said that. I'm like, you just said that 30 seconds ago. So that became a long, like, oh my God, I talked to her like 2 more hours and stuff. So I've got like 5 hours into this $700 now, and just, oh my God, it's just ridiculous. The whole thing of back and forth, and I'm just like, I'm over it. I don't give a goddamn. Like, he keeps telling me, I said, you're the one to talk about suing them. I've never sued anybody for anything in my lifetime. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? So this became a whole thing, and I'm like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Plus, I got to take up a small claim, so I was going to do. I have to hire a lawyer for $4,000 and sue them for $700. And I said, if I was going to sue them for money for the $700, I'd also sue them for, breach of contract. I'd sue them for my tax obligations. I pulled $54,300 some dollars out of my Webull account that I have to pay taxes on now on the profit. So I got to pay tax on that. I'd sue them for all this stuff if I was going to do it. Because if I'm going to pay a lawyer $4,000, I'm going to sue him for everything. Like, I'm going to sue him for all this. Why would I not sue him for everything? But I'm not. Like, that's just not how it works. I'm not that dude. Many times in my lifetime, I've had people wrong me to the point that I could easily have sued them. Never sued anyone for any of this stuff in the longest times. Like, so much stuff I could have sued people for. I'm just not that dude. I'm like I told her, I said, I would pay $700 not to sit in small claims court or actual court watching somebody else's lawsuit, let alone my own. Like, there's no way in shit I would pay $700 just not to be there. So that became a whole thing back and forth, and all it was just ridiculous. When I asked her, I said, what legal obligations do you have to talk to my lender about the $700? And then when she wouldn't answer stuff, and all I kept asking was just like, just tell me, hey, I fucked up. Like, this was my bad. I shouldn't have talked to me about it, even though I told her 3 different times last night on 2 different phone calls, do not call Brian about this. This has nothing to do with Brian. This has nothing to do with Brian. She chose to call Brian when I asked her that. Ironically, when I finally I'm not going to stop asking this question until you answer this. I'm going to keep asking it until you answer it. What legal obligation do you have to tell me about what legal obligation and or right did you have to tell me about the $700? And then she couldn't answer it. And like the 5th time I asked her, I'm like, I'm not gonna stop asking this question until you answer it. Then ironically, she had a phone call she had to take, and she couldn't, had to go. And I'm like, really? Okay, just answer my question. So in the text, I'm like, hey, just wait. As soon as you want to answer that question, feel free to give me a call back with the answer of what legal obligation or right you had to speak to him about that $700, because I told you not to. As my buying agent, you should, proceed with my wishes. So it was a whole big mess, and I'm so over it, just so over this whole thing. Yeah, this was one of those things where we should have either had a house built or bought a house 3 or 4 years ago. We're dealing with the father-in-law, so we could have moved him closer to us, all this kind of stuff. But he wanted to wait till the last minute he wanted to stay in his house and so on, which I understand. I want to stay in my house too. But as you age, you can't take care of yourself anymore. So it becomes a situation where it would be a perfect time to yell, I told you so. But I'm not that guy. I'm like, wouldn't life have been easier if we just done it this way instead years ago? But it didn't happen. So, oh well. it is what it is. So yeah, that was a lot of my stress and fun and the whole just BS that. So now I got a mortgage broker that I'm trying to finance through who thinks I'm so petty and entitled to get my $700 back. Why would he want to deal with me anymore? Why would he want to go to bat for me to get this loan and everything else involved? So it is what it is. So my lovely bride came home from work. Had another dog get dropped off. Had a meet and greet that was coming. The meet and greet, originally I had requested a 4:30 meet and greet. Didn't hear from him. It was about 20 minutes went by. I found out the other dog getting dropped off was also, she wanted to drop off between 4:30 and 5. So I changed the meet and greet time to 5:30 and sent it back out to the people and said, hey, does this work for you? And they said, absolutely. And I told them, hey, text me when you're on your way, because I like to know so I can put the dogs up, blah, blah, whatever. And then at like, I don't know, about 4 o'clock or so, 4:10, something like that, what it was that weird thing. Oh no, it was the dog was going to end up, she texted me, dropped the dog off, said she'd be here about 4:45. And then at 4:30, I get the text from the people saying, we're about 10 minutes out. And I'm like, well, first off, if you thought it was 4:30, it was there. And I said, I thought we had a 5:30. And she goes, oh, I saw the original is 4:30. I said, yes. And you never replied to that. So I changed it to 5:30. Them their dog getting dropped off and stuff. I said, but it's not that big a deal. I know this dog. I've watched it many times. It only takes a couple minutes. So if you want, just drive a little bit slow over here and we'll go from there. And she's like, okay, fine, whatever, blah, blah. So the dog shows up. I texted, hey, the dog's getting dropped off. So if you guys want to head over anytime, it's literally the dog will be in and out in like 3 minutes. It takes me 3 minutes to get the dog. The dog runs up. I pick the dog, give the big dog a big hug. It's a big goofy thing. Actually, it's this goofy thing right here. And he got shaved recently, so he's got no hair and he looks tiny. So I'm like holding him and hugging. He's just such a dumb dog. He's so much fun. So I basically, it's like a Muppet. So I bring him inside and then wait around, and about 20 minutes rolls by and I'm like, they're 10 minutes out, the hell. And I get a text going, he can't find your address. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I've got 4-foot tall numbers on my house. They're literally, the numbers are 4 foot tall, stuck right to my garage. And the mailbox next to me my mailbox does not have the numbers on it, I understand. But the mailbox next to me has the numbers, one number up, which is the house across the street. And I guess this guy drove by like 4 times and can't find the house. And so I'm like, it's got a blue Chevy truck, the top in the front driveway, 4-foot tall letters on the garage. It's the numbers, it's not that hard to find. And then eventually, I don't know, about another 10 more minutes rolls by. He pulls up out front in a van. He comes walking up to the door without the dogs. I'm like, you better brought these damn dogs. Like, what the hell? So he goes down and gets the dogs, and he's like, oh, I like the place. I guess it's all right. We'll take. I'm like, no, that's how it works. I got to meet your dogs. I'm interviewing your dogs, not the other way around. I have a reputation. I've been doing this for years now, and I have hundreds of people. I'm really, sought after as a person that does this. You need to bring your dogs in. We'll let them calm down and stuff. I don't know how this works and stuff. I've had a really bad week. I'm like, I don't care how your week's been. Just grab your dog. So he gets the dog. And I said, let's bring both dogs in to see how they interact with each other. And sometimes one dog will be more protective of the other dog and so on and so forth. So we get him in the house and he gets in the door. He's in there for almost 30 seconds. He goes, oh, this works for me. I'm fine with it. I don't know how this works. I'm like, just come on in, let's get the door shut. And he bribes 2 daughters in with him too, which I don't care, whatever. After he's told them 4 times to stay outside, they don't listen. They come in the house. So we unhook both the dogs, let the dogs run around. He goes, well, does this work? I said, how it works is we're all just going to sit down here. We're going to chat for a couple minutes. We're going to let the dogs smell the house a little bit, let them calm down. Because the little one was growling at me in the van like it wanted to bite me and stuff. And I'm like, that's not really cool. Sitting here hanging whatnot, and I was trying to get them to like let the dogs out in the yard, let them pee on stuff, let them use the bathroom if they want to because they're nervous and a lot of stuff going on. The guy isn't listening for nothing and sitting here stuff. And I basically like the 3rd time I'm like, if you guys want to have a seat when you calm down, so he goes, well, I don't sit down. I'm like, just have a seat because I've had a really rough week, really bad week. And I'm like, dude, well, how it works is when your dog sees you standing up, your dog thinks you're leaving, so it brings the energy of your dog up. Before I introduce my dog, that's how it works. He goes, well, I just sit here stuff, and he's like, real shit. He goes, I'm not going to sit. I'm not a dog. And I said, you can take your dogs and you can just leave. You're more than welcome, just leave. I don't need to watch your dogs. You need to go away now. And the guy's like, oh, he goes, well, I'll go just wait outside. I said, I don't care what you do. You can't be in here standing up anymore. Like, you can take your dogs, get the hell out, or you can leave and I can try it, sing your stuff, whatever. And at this point, now there's this extra energy that's in the house. It's just this crappy energy. I was like, okay, and I'm just gonna see how it goes. I basically down the hallway to get my dog. I come back. Their little dog is shit on my floor, which is amazing. You got to love this because he wouldn't let the dog walk around outside for a couple minutes to let the dog use the bathroom. So now I have a giant dog shit from this little tiny dog in the middle of my dining room, which is always splendid. Bring Bruce out, and the dog his dog is like being standoffish and stuff. And I was like, no, the hell. So I took my dog, put him back in the bedroom, opened the door, and told the guy, I said, come get your dogs, man. You need to go. Like, this didn't work. You're not. He goes, well, I should have my wife come. I said, yes, you should have. And you should never interact with people ever again. That's what I told him. So he takes his dogs, and I just text the wife and said, hey, good luck with finding a sitter. Like, this is not how I'm not watching your dogs. So went in, canceled the stay, the whole thing. I was like, holy shit, that's ridiculous. So I head back out here, play with the big goofy dogs, watch them run and play and chase and have a great time, and try to get my mind off the whole thing. And then moments later, my wife finally gets home from work, and I was in a shit mood. God, I was in a shit mood. The whole thing with the $700 for the inspection, the deal with the agent who doesn't listen, doesn't follow the directions that I tell her to do, so on and so forth. And that 2 hours of talking to her about that crap today, it's just, oh my God, my brain is just overwhelmed with just, I don't get this way very often. I really don't. I don't do this very often. But then that whole thing, the guy's like, I'm not going to sit. I'm not a dog. And I'm like, you set to drive over here. I think sitting is a possibility for you. Yeah. And when he's like hip saying, I don't know how this works, I'm like, I'm trying to tell you how it works, but you won't shut up long enough to listen to me to tell you how it works. I've literally met thousands of dogs. I've done this thousands of times. This is not that hard. Just figure it out. It ain't that big a deal. And people can't listen. People cannot learn. People are incapable of learning, and we move on. So they're out of there. My wife got home. Yeah, it was rough. It was real rough. So got settled down. I was trying to do my best. I even was short with my wife a little bit, which I didn't like. Just not really. I wasn't an asshole. I was curt. I was definitely not courteous in the process. So went ahead, watched a little bit of TV, ate some dinner, and came outside and just tried to relax some. She came outside. We talked for a while and kind of told her what things were going on and just where my frustrations and stuff all lied in the whole thing and everything else going on. And I was over it. I was so over it. So I was trying to relax, trying to bring my brain back to peace. And then everything went well. Dogs were playing, dogs were having a good time. One of the older dogs, we have a lab here, she's got some hip issues. She's really old and she has trouble getting up at times, and I don't know what's the deal, but my wife found her in the bedroom laying in her own piss. I don't even think she woke up because it was just like underneath her and just soaked onto her fur. So I'm trying to clean her off and clean the floor up and got her outside, and I just feel sorry for her because she's old enough now that she doesn't have much time left, and the people that own the dog know that, and it sucks, and it's just that stressful. And then we finally, I've headed inside. I finally finished up my cigar. I headed in, and then the little blue tick that I have is just full energy, and she won't stop. Like, she's just constantly just pacing the house, looking for things to do, and chewing on things and dropping the bones and stuff. So I started taking all the stuff away from her because if you chew on it, fine, but you can't carry it down the hallway and then drop it on her tile floor, making all the noise. And then the doodle and the blue tick were trying to play and stuff. And I was trying to go to sleep, and it took a while, and I finally got everybody to sleep. The Doberman Pinscher's a giant bed hog. She's up in the bed with me, and she's like not good about moving. Like, it's funny, like the dog doesn't, she weighs, I don't know, 85 pounds probably, but when she decides she's not moving, she weighs 400 pounds, like trying to move around the bed so I can get my own body positioned in there and around her and stuff. And I was like, oh, you little bed hog. It was so funny. So finally got everybody to lay down, finally got some sleep, and able to rest and try and restart my day for tomorrow. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.